My beloved child, pause. Right here. You didn't stumble across this by chance. I brought you here. Because the season you've been waiting for is now awakening. You felt the stirring, the restlessness, the quiet ache for more. And tonight, I am speaking to that hidden place within you. To begin a transformation no eye can see, but no soul can deny. But listen closely. This is not just another message. This is a holy moment, a divine appointment written before you ever took your first breath. Don't look away, because what I reveal next will shift your future forever. There are things unfolding in the spiritual realm that your natural eyes cannot perceive, yet they are impacting every aspect of your life, your thoughts, your emotions, even relationships you've assumed to be purely human in nature. There have been agreements made in darkness to dim the light you carry. There are souls being mobilized to distract and derail you from the destiny I have set before you. And if you do not rise now, if you do not receive this word with reverence and total obedience, it will not only affect you, but your descendants and the generation awaiting the release of the light I planted within you. Do you not realize how long I have been trying to reach you? When you toss and turn through the night, when you dream dreams that seem vague and strange, when your heart suddenly feels heavy with a nameless burden, those are not random occurrences. Those are my whispers. Those are the footsteps of my messengers brushing past your soul, knocking gently, longing for you to open your heart. But I see you still tangled in busyness, occupied with things that do not truly matter. I see you distracted by the gaze of others, striving to please people while neglecting the call that echoes from heaven. That is why I have now sent Archangel Michael, the mightiest warrior of the heavenly hosts, to you. This moment is unlike any season you've walked through. It is a decisive hour. A spiritual crossroads has opened before you. On one side lies the divine restoration I have prepared. On the other, a slow descent into cleverly disguised traps, things that seem good, yet are not from me. The enemy does not always come as a threat. It comes as comfort. It comes wearing the mask of acceptance, the applause of others, the sweet compromise. But these very things are draining the true life from your spirit. They are causing you to forget my voice and weakening the radiance I placed inside you from the beginning. Rise up, child, in full awareness. Look closely around you. Some who appear to love you are actually pulling your soul further from the light. There are relationships you believe are safe, but beneath the surface lie control and invisible chains. There are places you think offer rest, but in truth they are lands of spiritual blindness. And I, the Lord Jehovah, am calling you out, not with physical steps, but with the shedding of everything that no longer aligns with my will. I am preparing the way for you, but you must take the first step. I need you right now, not just to hear with your ears, but to listen with a heart that longs for true life. Because what is about to be revealed will pierce into the deepest layers of your spirit, into the battleground where light and darkness wrestle with great intensity. You are standing at the threshold of a great transformation, and precisely because of this, the darkness around you has begun to shift. There is someone not far from you, perhaps even still within the circle of those you trust, who has sensed that a new destiny is drawing near to you. They may not say it aloud, but the spiritual realm has stirred their soul with unease. Their heart trembles, not from love but from fear, because deep down they feel it. You are about to step into your promised land. You are on the verge of receiving a blessing so great, so divine, that it shakes the very foundation of their own desires that have remained unfulfilled. They can't explain why your joy unsettles them, why your victories feel like threats to their comfort, but I know that is jealousy speaking. That is the spirit of manipulation, trying to creep through the smallest cracks in the relationship between you and them. Have you ever felt something was off but couldn't quite name it? A subtle chill in their gaze, a hesitation in their congratulations, a half-hearted smile that left you wondering? You are not imagining things. That is the warning bell I have been sounding in your spirit. Though their words may be sweet and affectionate, they are silently analyzing your every step, waiting for a misstep. They are watching you, not to protect you, but to find ways to weaken the foundation I have been carefully building beneath your feet. And what grieves me most is this: you have been too kind, too patient, too quick to believe the best. You've opened your heart and shared even the most sacred dreams I've planted in you with someone unworthy of them. I do not say this to make you hate them. I do not teach you to harbor resentment. But I must reveal the truth so you may stop voluntarily walking into wounds you were never meant to bear. That person has whispered things they should have kept sacred. They have poured fragments of your story into the ears of others, not to help you, but to drain your strength. And now they are making plans, not with swords or fists, but with poisoned words, with subtle insinuations, with looks that quietly erode the value I have engraved into you before the world ever learned your name. Therefore, my child, I have not remained silent. I have sent Archangel Michael not merely to watch, but to stand between you and that person, to become a sacred barrier between you and the flaming arrows of betrayal. He does not come like a shadow in the dark. He comes in the full authority of heaven, wielding a sword of fire, ready to burn away every lie, every wicked plot, every trap disguised as familiar affection. But there is something you must understand. My angel cannot intervene if you deliberately choose to ignore the warning. Power only moves where obedience dwells. He cannot fight while you keep clasping the hand that's causing your harm, telling yourself it can't be. They're still nice to me. I am exposing everything now, not to shame you, but to set you free. Not to fill you with fear, but to teach you how to walk in wisdom that descends from heaven. That is why this message is not one to skim through. Stop. Read every word as if it were my final heartbeat spoken for you. Let each sentence fall into your soul like rain upon a weary field, dry and aching from trusting the wrong person, from loving someone never sent by me. Because in this very moment, a shift is happening in the spiritual realm and in the circumstances surrounding your life. Do you understand, my beloved? When you choose to obey me and believe what I speak over what your eyes see, you will step into an entirely new season, one no man can hinder and no force of darkness can delay. You will begin to see the difference between true light and counterfeit glow. You will discern who I have placed in your life to journey with you and who the enemy has assigned to bring confusion. In that divine clarity, you will no longer need to strain to maintain connections, for I myself will sever every tie that no longer aligns with my will, regardless of how much it hurts, how much you miss them, or how deeply your heart clings to what is familiar. This is not cruelty, it is mercy. This is not rejection, it is redirection. And though it may feel like loss, what I'm truly giving you is protection. What I'm opening for you is purpose. What I'm clearing away is everything that stands between you and the glory I have appointed for you. Trust me, I see what you cannot. I know what is whispered behind closed doors. I am not only your God, I am your defender, and I will not let anything or anyone rob you of the future I have ordained. My dear child, do not let sweet-sounding words deceive your mind any longer. Do not allow familiarity to be the excuse that keeps you bound in decaying relationships. Do not let the fear of loneliness cause you to reject the sacred isolation that I require in order to rebuild your foundation. Do not turn away from the miracle simply because it demands that you sever ties with what is counterfeit. Michael is standing at the door. He will not retreat if you choose to walk in obedience to this word. He will not back down before any enemy if you decide to trust me more than your fleeting emotions. But if you continue to cling to stubbornness, continue to justify what is wrong, continue to mistake control for care, then you will end up locking yourself inside the very chaos I have tried to deliver you from. Beloved, open your heart like parched soil yearning for the first rains of the season. For I, the Lord your God, am the one speaking to you now, preparing a divine breakthrough so great that no force of darkness will be able to obstruct it. Everything I have ordained for you lies beyond the reach of those who are attempting to manipulate and dominate your life. I will not only deliver you from their grasp, I will use their very schemes to showcase my power and faithfulness in your life. Righteousness will not merely liberate you, it will testify that no one can rewrite a story that I have sealed with the sovereign authority of heaven. You once believed they were walking with you, that they were your companions, your safe harbor in times of weakness. But now I am unveiling the truth with clarity undeniable. Those with whom you shared your dreams, those to whom you entrusted your most sacred revelations, were in fact watching, analyzing, and quietly documenting details of your life as though your journey were a sketch they had the right to erase and revive. But I, the one who placed that light within your soul, will never allow it to be stolen. I am the supreme author of your destiny, and no matter how others try to imitate, alter, or distort the story of your life, they are merely readers. They will never be the writer. Every page has already been inscribed by me with a covenantal ink from heaven. Each chapter, whether marked by sorrow or splendor, has been foreseen and ordained by me. And now you are standing at the threshold of a completely new chapter, one where I myself will step in and co-author with you a spiritual legacy no one can deny. Do not let the past cause you to question what is coming. Do not let betrayal steal your trust in me, for I am not like man. I do not pretend. I do not change my mind. I do not say one thing and do another. I do not come to exploit, but to restore. I do not arrive to take, but to give. And that is exactly what I am doing right now in your life. You may not see it yet, but the spirit realm has already begun to shift. Every weapon the enemy once forged against you is crumbling in their own hands. Every hidden scheme is being exposed under my light. And even now I am transforming their slander into the very material with which I will build my glory in you. Remember this, no one can curse what I have already blessed. No one can extinguish the anointing I have poured upon your head. No matter how many times they whisper behind your back, no matter how many false walls they construct around your reputation, it is I, in the authority of heaven, who will cause their slanders to fall back upon themselves and will elevate you as the one I have established. The venom once hurled at you I will turn into stones that build your foundation. Those who look down on you, I will compel them to witness what I am about to do in you, not to shame them, but to prove that my power is not confined by human perception. You are about to step into an entirely new season. Not merely a different phase in time, but a shift in the spiritual atmosphere. This is a divine turning point, where your honor will be restored, your calling reaffirmed, and dreams you once believed had died will resurrect with multiplied strength. Every prophecy that was delayed will begin to unfold. Every prayer you whispered through tears, those you thought no one heard, has been gathered by my angels and is now being poured out like a rain of revival upon your life. But in order to enter this new season, you must decisively leave the old one behind. You must release relationships that have become hollow shells. You must shut the doors I closed long ago, the ones you've still been trying to reopen. You cannot carry the baggage of deception and expect to touch the kingdom of truth. You cannot cling to what is counterfeit and expect to walk in true anointing. Those who once believed they had influence over you, those who thought they could sway your heart with a few well-placed words, will now have to watch as I lift you higher by a hand they cannot reach nor control. I am preparing to place you on higher ground, not to elevate your pride, but to clarify your purpose and free you from all limitation. Your enemies, those who waited for your fall, will bow before the glory that radiates through your life. They will no longer have the power to dictate your story. They will not be permitted to rewrite your chapters. From the very place where you were despised, you shall rise, sent surviving and shining as a living testimony to my unchanging love. My child, do not be afraid when I begin to separate you from certain things. Do not be confused when familiar connections start to fall away, when those once near grow distant. This is not loss, it is deliverance. I am cleansing the environment around you. I am reestablishing your circle of influence so that no compromise can contaminate the purity of your call. Do not mourn what I remove, for what is coming will leave you undone in holy awe, and you will finally understand. Every time I said no, I was preserving a greater yes for your life. So be ready. Lay aside your doubts, your old wounds, and even those nameless fears you haven't dared to confront. Step out of your comfort zone and into the land where faith is cultivated daily, where my presence is no longer something merely told, but something tangibly experienced. For I, the Lord Jehovah, am writing the next chapter, and this chapter none will erase. None will alter except me. Beloved, I ask you to pause in this moment. Still your racing thoughts. Release the noise in your mind. Listen not just with your ears, but with the depth of your soul. For what I am about to speak is not temporary comfort. It is the key that unlocks a doorway into an entirely new reality. I am about to unveil a sacred truth, a truth you were never withheld from out of secrecy, but because the time was not yet right. But now, at this very moment, as you read these words, the time has come. The veil is lifting. I have watched you grow in places no one ever saw. I have seen you smile while bleeding from unhealed wounds. I have seen you stay strong not because you had no pain, but because you feared letting others down. Night after night, you prayed in silence, holding loneliness like an unwelcome companion who had become all too familiar. You never cursed, never complained, only swallowed your tears and tried again, hoping someone, someday, would understand. But my child, I have understood all along. I have not only heard the prayers you spoke aloud, I have heard the ones you were too afraid to say. I have known the thoughts you feared would be judged, the dreams you buried deep because you believed no one would believe in them. I saw it all, every sigh in the night, every heartbeat trembling with disappointment. I have remembered. Not a single moment has been forgotten. You once thought I was silent. You once believed I had let you walk alone. But the truth is, I was never far. I was near enough to protect you, yet distant enough for you to grow in faith, because there are lessons that cannot be handed down in words, but must be etched into the soul through lived experience. There is a kind of maturity that only springs from tears. There is an anointing that only flows when the self is broken. And you, my beloved child, you walk through that season with far more courage than you realize. The pain you endured was not meaningless. It was not punishment, but a part of your refining process. I know you've been wounded, not by clear enemies, but by those you once trusted the most. They didn't just hurt you, they made you question your own worth. They made you ask, is there something wrong with me? Am I even lovable? And I want you to know this, once and for all. No, there is nothing wrong with you. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You have not been cast out of my plan. On the contrary, it is because your value is great that your trials have been so deep. The enemy only attacks those who carry within them the seed of heaven's glory. The isolation you've endured is not a sign of rejection. It is a sign of consecration. I placed you in the secret place, not so that you would wither in sorrow, but so that you could be repositioned. I have been preparing you for a new season, a new realm, a mission not everyone is equipped to carry. And to bear that weight of glory, you needed to be separated from the noise of this world, from those who only drain but never uplift. You needed to learn to come to me before you run to people. You needed to be forged in the silence so that my voice would become the most familiar sound to your soul. My child, there are certain things I only give to those who are willing to endure loneliness for the sake of righteousness. Those who are brave enough to be misunderstood in order to protect the truth. Those who dare to step away from the crowd to follow the call from heaven. And you are one of them. It is precisely through solitude that your spiritual capacity has been enlarged, allowing me to fill it with my very presence. It is betrayal that taught you to discern between genuine love and self-interest disguised as care. It is the silence of others that helped you learn to hear the voice within, the voice of my promises that no one can steal. You are not lost. You are not late. You are exactly where I want you to be, right in the middle of preparation to step into elevation. And this elevation does not come from man. It does not come from a title. It does not come from outward recognition. It is a lifting up by the Holy Spirit. A new vision is unfolding. A new door is waiting to be swung wide open, and you no longer need to knock, for I myself will be the one who opens it. But remember, this glory comes with responsibility. When I lift you up, there will be eyes that are not pleased. When I reveal my choosing, there will be voices that rise in protest. But do not let this make you afraid, for when I am with you, no force, no matter how cunning, can bring you down. You will walk in the authority of one who was once wounded, but is now healed to bring healing. You will become the voice for the voiceless. You will become a shelter for trembling souls, just as you once trembled. And the miracle in it all is this: every mark you once considered a scar will become living evidence of my unfailing goodness. At this very moment, amidst the unseen turbulence in the spiritual realm, a messenger has been commissioned, not from any place on earth, but directly from the heavenly courts of the Most High. This messenger does not arrive empty-handed. In his grasp is a divine dispatch, a decree of deliverance sealed by the authority of the Holy One, carrying the power of truth to shatter every chain that has bound your soul. This decree was not written with earthly ink, but with the blood of the Lamb, who once suffered so that you might live, who was once imprisoned so that today you might step into freedom. Inside this heavenly package lies the beginning of a new season, a time in which you will no longer be held captive by the very things that once made you stumble. I have seen every invisible cord the enemy has quietly wrapped around your life, every sweet-sounding lie cloaked in the disguise of love, every relationship not meant to uplift but to control, to drain you, to steal the identity I placed within you. They did not arrive as enemies, but I saw their true nature, and because of that, I issued your release. Today you are declared free, not a partial freedom, not the counterfeit liberty the world tries to sell, but a true freedom. A freedom born from knowing who you belong to and recognizing what no longer deserves to remain in your life. I give you clarity to see through emotional fog, through the veil of false sweetness, through the alluring promises designed only to delay your destiny. I am not merely breaking chains, I am opening your spiritual eyes. So from this day forward, You will no longer settle for anything less than what I have ordained for you. But my beloved, this gift, though already given, requires something of you. You must believe, not with fleeting feelings, but with a steadfast faith rooted deep in trust for me. You must believe that you are worthy of this freedom, that you were not created to remain in relationships that erode your dignity or suffocate your spirit. You must believe that when I say you have worth, no one, no matter how close or significant, has the authority to say otherwise. You must also obey, for true freedom cannot be separated from obedience. I cannot lead you into the promised land if your heart still longs for Egypt. I cannot open new doors for you if your hands are still clinging to the keys of doors I have already sealed shut. Obedience is not always easy. At times it will hurt, it will leave you lonely, it will feel like you're letting go of something familiar. But my child, obedience always leads to glory, for where I am calling you is never a place of lack, but a place of abundance. Abundant love, abundant peace, an abundant affirmation that comes from heaven alone. Do you remember the times you had to pretend you were okay, when you forced a smile to hide the cracks in your heart, the moments you felt yourself dying slowly in a relationship, yet kept whispering to your own soul, "It'll get better." You were not born for that. You were not created to merely endure. You were formed to live in the light, to stand firm in the honor and holiness I have called you to. Every time you forgave the unforgivable, every time you chose to walk away instead of wrestling in chaos, you were walking with me in a divine rescue written in the blueprints of eternity. Now I am giving you a way out. But this way out is not an escape. It is a stepping forward, a courageous decision to enter the land I have already prepared. You may not know every step ahead, but you know the one who leads you. You may not hold the full plan, but you hold the hand of the one who holds the universe. Do not fear. Do not grieve. Do not hesitate, for it is hesitation that has delayed you too long. It is compromise that has slowed your advance. But now, truth has been unveiled, power has been given, and the door is wide open. Remember this, my child. Not everything that feels pleasant comes from me. Not every friend is someone I have sent. There are people who once helped you take your first steps, but who do not carry the purity required to walk with you to the finish. There are places that were once safe havens, but have now turned into velvet-like prisons. And I, the one who loves you far too deeply to stay silent, will not allow you to remain confined in what has expired. So rise, gaze into your new reality. Take back your God-given right to choose, to move forward, to say enough to all that no longer aligns with the season you're stepping into. Tear up the soul contracts made with the wrong people. Say farewell to connections that no longer birth life. Be courageous enough to choose yourself again. The version of you I ordained, not the version the world pressured you to become. I know this isn't easy. I know loneliness lurks at the threshold every time you decide to walk alone. But I also promise you this: you will not walk alone forever. I will send new people, those who will not exploit you but carry burdens with you. People who won't merely say they love, but live it. People who don't compete, who don't envy, who won't trade closeness for control. They will come because I have chosen them for you just as I have chosen you for them. And when you walk in obedience, the miraculous will begin to unfold. The things that once wounded you will lose their sting. The memories that once suffocated you will no longer hold power. The curses that once imprisoned you will disintegrate into nothing, and you will see yourself not as a survivor, but as one promoted in the kingdom. No longer a prisoner of the past, but a steward of the new things of heaven. Every weapon the enemy ever tried to use to destroy you, I will repurpose to glorify my name through your life. So do not hesitate, my beloved. Receive the heavenly dispatch sent from the courts above. Open that decree of deliverance, not only with your hands, but with your heart. Let freedom flood every hidden chamber of your soul. Let my light drive out all remnants of darkness and step forward, boldly, resolutely, with holy expectation. For I have not only given you freedom today, I have restored your destiny. I have written a new chapter. I have given you a new name, and I have opened a path that no man can shut except me, the one who opened it for you. And what I am about to declare to you, dearest one, goes far beyond mere release. For today is not only the day you are loosed from every chain, it is the day I initiate a divine transfer, a movement directly from the eternal storehouses of heaven. The messenger I have dispatched does not merely carry a general message, but bears a portion of your spiritual inheritance, a blessing that was set apart for you before you were ever born. This is no longer a promise for the future. This is the manifestation in the present. So, my child, open your soul wide to receive it, for what is coming is not excess nor pity. It is redemption. I am unlocking treasures of the Spirit that you have not yet fully received across many past seasons, because of invisible warfare, because of delay, because of hidden curses and dark interference. I see clearly all that you've lost, the things you remember and those you've grown accustomed to living without, unaware that I had always ordained them for you. I see every door that was once slammed shut, every time you knocked and no one answered, every prayer you thought was swallowed into silence. But in truth, all of it has been stored like water swelling in the clouds, waiting for the appointed time I decreed. And now, that time has come. I do not restore halfway. I do not compensate by human standards. When I restore, I always do so in multiples of what was lost. I don't merely return the opportunities that were stolen from you. I breathe new life into what once seemed lifeless. I resurrect dreams that were buried in silence. I rebuild from the ashes what you once gave up on, and I use the very desolate places of your soul as fertile ground for the glorious harvest to come. This transfer does not arrive with noise, banners, or flashing lights, but it is so deep and so real that no sensitive spirit can deny it. You will begin to feel the change, not outwardly first, but inwardly. A quiet confidence will gently fill your heart. A peace not dependent on circumstances will settle over your thoughts. And then, doors will begin to creak open. Coincidental encounters that lead to divinely orchestrated new beginnings. Sacred connections marked with my signature. Confirmations arriving from sources you never expected. You will know, not because someone told you, but because your soul will discern it. Something is shifting, and you are standing right in the midst of that sacred wind of transition. Prepare your mind to receive, for what I am about to give cannot be contained in old vessels, old mindsets, old reactions, old fears. All must be released. You cannot pour new wine into old wineskin. You cannot carry the habits of an old season and expect to function under the anointing of the new one. Let me cleanse your thoughts. Let me teach you how to receive without doubting, how to walk without looking back, how to trust without comparing. Because the inheritance you are about to receive will not resemble anything you've encountered before. It will usher you into a new territory, not just in your personal life, but in the spiritual calling I have appointed for you. My child, this transition is not just for you. It also concerns those who will be touched through your life. The reward I am giving will not stop with you, but will overflow through you to bless an entire generation. I am placing in your hands not only what was once lost, but also new tools to help you operate within a new level of influence. The words you speak will carry the weight of authority. The decisions you make will blaze trails for those coming after you. Even the simplest acts you carry out will ripple in the spiritual realm more than you realize. But for this very reason, you must walk with awareness, walk with faithfulness. For the higher you go, the stronger the wind, and I do not want you merely elevated. I want you established. The transfer is not just about shifting resources. It is a transfer of responsibility. I am placing keys in your hand, but you must learn to use them, not for recognition, not to prove anything to man, but for my name's sake, for the glory of my kingdom. Look back on your journey. The wounds, the misunderstandings, the silent battles, none of it was in vain. It was all preparation so you could carry the weight of this inheritance today. No one can receive great things without first being crushed. But now you are no longer the defeated. You are the survivor with purpose. You are the one marked by heaven's seal, and you are about to enter a season where everything that was once delayed will now be released, not according to man's timeline, but according to mine. Be ready for the unexpected. I am about to astonish you with the way I turn impossibilities into divine breakthroughs. Doors that once seemed irreversibly shut will suddenly swing open, not because of your effort, but because my grace has already decreed it. I will cause those who once dismissed and looked down on you to witness an undeniable restoration. And you will know, not merely by theory, but by living experience, that I am the Redeemer, the Restorer, the one who keeps every promise even when humans fail in theirs. My beloved child, do not be surprised when your heart feels a quiet unrest that your logic cannot explain. Do not ignore that deep inner stirring in your spirit that tells you something isn't right, even when everything on the surface seems calm. I have seen the friendly gestures, the blessings cloaked in good intentions that some around you have extended. They wave, they smile, they pretend to support, but beneath their warm appearances runs a cold undercurrent of envy. A silent hunger for the spiritual position you've been entrusted with. You felt the resistance, not in your body, but in your spirit. You've asked yourself why progress seems delayed, why breakthrough feels withheld when you know you should have soared by now. You've blamed yourself, thinking perhaps you weren't trying hard enough or needed to change your ways or your direction. But today I speak to you. You were not wrong. You are not crazy. What you're sensing is real. It is my spirit who has been whispering to your soul for a long time now, telling you that something must be removed from the atmosphere around you. Someone has been monitoring your every step, not to uplift but to restrain, not to intercede but to investigate. They watch your spiritual growth, not with joy but with suspicion, jealousy, and caution. When you share even a small miracle, they nod externally, but inside they're agitated. When you take a step closer to the promise I've given you, they offer congratulations on the outside, but secretly run to whisper doubts to others, questioning whether you deserve it. You've sensed all of this, but you've hesitated to believe it because you didn't want to doubt those you love. You didn't want to assume the worst. You didn't want to break what felt fragile. But today I, your Lord, am doing what you could not. I am uncovering what has long been hidden behind masks of counterfeit kindness. I am exposing the spirits of envy disguised behind their counsel. I am bringing to light every manipulative prayer, every offer of help that was only meant to keep you within their control. For you are the one I have chosen, and no one has the right to dim the light of your calling. You have tried long enough. You've kept silent to maintain peace. You've endured, not wanting to wound anyone. But, child, true peace does not come from compromising with toxicity. Real unity cannot be birthed from turning a blind eye to jealousy, control, and spiritual manipulation. The peace I give is not fragile, not subject to the emotions of others. It is unshakable, unmoved by gossip or glances. And now you must guard that peace like a watchman tending the flame in the darkness. I am calling you to establish boundaries, not out of pride but from wisdom, not out of lovelessness but from self-protection. Set apart sacred distance, not to sever human connection, but so that you can hear me clearly once more. Do not let their voices drown out the stillness I've built inside your heart. Do not let their side conversations rob you of the freedom I just gave you. You need a holy space where only my voice, my presence, and those I myself have appointed have permission to enter. And now, my child, be at peace, for you are not alone in facing those spirits of jealousy. I have already commanded my angels, faithful warriors and guardians of holiness, to encamp around your home, around your workplace, and every place your feet tread. They have not come to intimidate, they have come to protect. No shadow can infiltrate where my mighty arm is stretched around you. No unclean spirit can touch your mind, your health, your emotions, or your calling. For I have given you a shield in the Spirit, forged by my promises and sealed in the covenant of my blood. You do not need to worry about what others are saying behind your back. You do not need to chase after rumors to defend yourself or to preserve your image. I am your vindicator. I am the one who judges with righteousness, and when I move, no one can twist the truth any longer. All I ask of you is to walk in integrity, to dwell in holy stillness, and I will take care of the rest. You may feel alone in this season, but the truth is, you have never been more surrounded. Angels stand guard over you. The Holy Spirit is your comforter, and I myself am walking beside you. And soon I will bring those with sincere hearts, those who carry my spirit, to walk with you. I will not leave you adrift in a sea of pretenders. I am purifying, I am replacing, I am protecting this new beginning with a divine perimeter that cannot be breached. So do not be surprised, my child, when certain doors slam shut. Do not grieve too long over relationships that walk out of your life. I never remove anything without intending to give you something better. I never expose anything without intending to heal what follows. I never reveal a person unless it will ultimately lead to your restoration. From this day forward, you will walk with new clarity. Your spiritual eyes will grow sharper. Your soul will begin to discern which fields are fertile and which are poisoned. I will teach you how to distinguish between my true voice and the spiritual-sounding whispers that are really veiled manipulation. I will reveal to you who has been sent to run with you in the mission, and who was only meant to stay behind in the former season, unable to follow into the new. Beloved child, you are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not weak for setting boundaries. You are maturing. You are awakening. You are entering into a deeper realm of your journey with me. And because of that, I need you alert. I need you to guard your spiritual atmosphere like one who watches over hidden treasure. For what I am about to pour out cannot rest in a chaotic environment. This new anointing must be incubated in peace, and I am preparing it not just for you, but for all who are rightly connected to you. Do you know this, my child? The gift I have prepared for you is not just a glamorous reward, nor is it merely a consolation prize for the hard days behind you. No, this gift is a sacred piece of a much greater plan, a fragment of my eternal promise that I have preserved all these years, waiting for the moment your heart would be ready. But listen, in order for that gift to land fully in your life, your spirit must first be cleared of old baggage, fragments not yet laid down, and the thick dust of painful seasons that has yet to be swept away. I see that you are still holding tightly to certain things that no longer need to be carried. Memories that once wounded you, words that were spoken and then abandoned like blades lodged deep within. Moments of abandonment that no one noticed but pierced you all the same. You're still clinging to them, as if letting go would mean losing a part of yourself. But in truth, those very things are taking up the space meant for what I desire to give you next. If your hands are already full, how can you receive more? If your heart remains heavy with the fear of being hurt again, how can my peace find room to enter? You must learn the art of release, not because you are weak, but because true freedom begins when you stop carrying what was never meant to last. Not to forget, but to make room for something greater to enter. And now I speak this to you. My messenger is already on the way. But remember, this messenger may not arrive in the form you expected. They might not be wrapped in glory or step forth from a supernatural vision as your imagination might assume. They may come in the most ordinary of ways. A phone call at an unexpected hour, a simple question from someone you hardly know, a message hidden in the chaos of daily headlines, or even a dream that wakes you up with tears in your eyes and a strange lightness in your chest. They will arrive not in the way you predicted, but carrying a piece of heaven wrapped in simplicity, humility, and truth. So how will you recognize what truly comes from me? How will you know not to be deceived by things that look holy on the outside, but are hollow on the inside? Test them. Use the measuring rod my spirit planted in you from the first days you came to me. If it brings a deep, unshakable peace, not the shallow kind born of comfort or circumstances, but a steady undercurrent flowing from within, then that is a sign. If it pulls you closer to truth, to light, to the identity I wove into your being, then it is confirmation. And if it does not make you panic, does not demand you strive or struggle to hold on, does not push you with the weight of urgency, that is how you'll know it is from me. On the other hand, if anything comes cloaked in confusion, pressure, or internal disturbance, if it asks you to trade your peace for a vague promise, then, my child, take a step back. That is not from me. I do not operate through coercion. I do not lead by fear. I do not bless by distorting your identity or asking you to contort yourself into someone you are not. What comes from me will never leave you feeling smaller, less worthy, or dependent on human validation. You don't have to convince anyone that you are worthy. I already decided that you are. I already chose you, and that choice is the greatest confirmation you will ever need. Do not let dazzling invitations pull you away from the pure calling I have placed upon you. Do not let applause or spiritual-sounding offers detour you from the sacred path I have designed for your soul. Stay anchored in me. Weigh everything in the light of truth. Lay it all on the scale of peace, and then you will know what is real and what is merely an echo of noise from the world. I am looking for a place to land, not by helicopter, not with thunder, but with sacred stillness. I am seeking a heart emptied of human expectation, of the compulsion to prove anything, of the hunger for applause, because it is in that place where you lay aside every assumption and surrender every plan that I can work my miracles. Fullness is born out of the willingness to be emptied. Satisfaction comes when you dare to say no to what seems good so you can wait for what is truly divine. My beloved child, I am still unveiling the hidden things, secrets long wrapped in shadows, truths that have seemed silent but were in fact being prepared for this very hour of righteousness. This is the moment when I arise for your honor and your destiny. Today I want to reach into a sensitive and tender place in your heart, the part that was stolen, the place that once bled though you never cried out, the place where you lost not only material things but your trust in people. I know it all, and I have not looked away. I see that person clearly, the one who took advantage of your kindness and trust. They didn't just take the money that rightfully belonged to you. They didn't merely tamper with numbers in the books or reduce the balance in your account. No, what they did cut much deeper. They wounded you emotionally. They robbed you of the precious time I had given you to build what was good and holy. They stood in the way of the divine opportunities I had once laid before you and disrupted the meaningful connections, those sacred doors I had opened to usher you into a greater season of blessing. And each time you look back, the ache still lingers, not just because of what was lost, but because you were betrayed by someone you once trusted the most. I know that feeling, my child. I was with you on the night you lay awake, unable to sleep, silently crying out, "Why me?" I was present when you lowered your head and endured in silence, choosing not to expose the wrong for fear of shaming someone else. You chose integrity. You chose to believe that truth would speak for itself. And today I affirm this to you, that time has come. Everything once hidden will be brought into the light. Every wrongdoing will no longer find a place to hide, not through vengeance by your hand, but through justice by mine. The one who sees all and forgets not a single tear you have shed. Trust me, you don't need to expose them. You don't have to go around retelling your pain. You don't need to exhaust yourself trying to set things right. I am the one who will do that, on my terms, in my timing, and through the ones I've already positioned for such a moment. I will send forth a person, one with authority in both the natural and the spiritual realm, who will see, who will hear, and who will act at exactly the right time. Not just anyone, but a messenger sent from heaven itself, attuned to the silent cries of your soul. And what's even more glorious is this: I will not merely restore what was lost. I will repay you, not in equal measure, but in abundance. My compensation always exceeds expectation. What they thought you had permanently lost, I will return to you in multiplied form. What was stolen in silence, I will restore in public. The relationships that were severed, I will repair and replace, bringing new ones into your life marked by strength, integrity, and genuine honor. The opportunities that were blocked, I will suddenly reopen without requiring permission from anyone. And even you will stand in awe at the pace and precision of my movement. For I am not bound by human regulations, and my grace is never confined by earthly schedules. My child, this time the messenger does not come bearing distant promises, not just soothing words for a weary heart. No, this time the messenger arrives with fulfillment. This is not a promise delayed into some far-off future. This is the manifestation. This is the answer to the tearful prayers you once lifted. This is the response to your patience when no one was watching. And this time, the transformation will not come merely to soothe your pain, but to heal it at the root. And I will do it with divine precision, at the right time, in the right way, so that my name will be glorified and your heart will be comforted. Do not ask me how, for I am not obligated to explain. I do not require you to understand everything. I only ask that you believe. Believe that I am the one who fulfills promises, that I am the righteous Father who owes no one anything. Do not worry about the when, for my timing is always perfect. Sometimes I allow things to settle long enough so that when I move, no one can take the credit but me. And then you will doubt no more. You will know it wasn't your own strength that brought you back. It was I who lifted you with my mighty arm. Therefore, from this very moment, prepare your heart. Live as if the miracle is already knocking at your door. Be ready to receive without hesitation. Open your heart not to seek explanations, but to welcome divine recompense. For what I am about to do will not follow the logic of men. It will transcend the boundaries of human understanding. It will astonish even those who once believed you were doomed to fail. And it is they, the very ones who secretly rejoiced in your losses, who will have no choice but to witness your restoration, your honor being reinstated, and your elevation from the mire to a seat at the banquet of glory. So then, my beloved child, As you step into this appointed time of restoration and divine exchange, know that the darkness is also stirring more fiercely than ever before. The enemy has seen the first glimmers of light breaking forth from within you, and it is afraid. It trembles, knowing its time to hinder you is running out. That is why it is now launching one final, desperate assault. Its last effort to drag you off the path of glory I have laid out before you. This will not be a loud or obvious attack. No, it will be subtle, calculated, and deceptively precise. You must stay vigilant now more than ever. Guard your mind and spirit with clarity. Remember, the enemy does not always come roaring like a lion. Sometimes it slips in as a cutting word from someone close to you, a moment of disrespect from one you once trusted. It might show up in a situation that leaves you feeling offended, sidelined, or wrongly accused. The enemy knows your weak spots. It knows exactly what can shake your heart, and today it will attempt to provoke you, to stir anger in your soul, to coax unwise words from your lips, to lure you into reacting in the flesh in ways you will later regret. But, my child, do not fall into that trap. Do not allow your heart to be dragged by fleeting emotions. Let your soul be rooted like a tree planted deep in the ground. Refuse to react with impulse. Stop every response that is born out of past wounds. Do not let your righteousness waver because of a single insult. The enemy wants you caught in a whirlpool of reaction. It wants you to lose yourself in anger, in bitterness, in a split-second loss of self-control. But I say to you, choose silence. Choose the power of holy stillness, not because you are weak, but because you know that my power will speak on your behalf. When you remain silent, it is not surrender. It is a declaration in the spirit realm that you trust me enough not to fight in your own strength. Every time you refuse to retaliate, every time you rise above the level of those who try to wound you, you are walking in divine authority. And I see it. My angels see it. All of heaven rises in unity when you choose integrity over compromise. Your silence is not empty. It resounds in the heavens like a song of unwavering trust. Never forget that I am the one who goes before you in every battle. Nothing happens without my knowledge. No word spoken against you escapes my hearing. No evil scheme formed in secret lies beyond my sight. But I do not need you to become the avenger. I only need you to stand still. Stand still in peace. Stand still in trust. And when you choose not to respond as the world does, I will respond on your behalf in a way no one can prevent. I will cause truth to rise like the dawn. I will make those who set traps for you fall into their own pits. I will lift you up, not by your striving, but by my own hand. Not by loud protests, but by quiet praise that holds firm through the storm. Know this, my child, the enemy will not let go so easily. It will use every tactic to provoke a reaction from you. It will bring back familiar faces from the past, revive painful memories, and whisper old words you thought were long forgotten, just to reopen wounds that have not fully healed. But I say to you, do not look back. Do not scratch the wound I am in the process of healing. Walk forward, even if it still hurts. Keep walking, because if you choose to stand today, tomorrow will be your day of victory. And in the midst of confusion, when harsh words try to steal your peace, I ask you to do this. Open your mouth and praise me. It doesn't have to be loud, just be sincere. Praise me, not because everything is perfect, but because you believe I am working all things together for your good. Praise me, not because you see the miracle already, but because you know without a doubt that the miracle is already unfolding, even if your eyes cannot yet see it. Every word of praise you lift up is an arrow piercing the heart of the enemy. Every sigh transformed into a song of thanksgiving is a declaration that you are still standing, still believing, still loving, no matter how fiercely the storms have tried to take you down. Do not mistake my silence for inaction. I am working behind the scenes in places no human eyes can see. I am aligning every detail, arranging every piece, preparing every heart so that when I bring you out into the light, nothing will be able to stop you. All I ask is that you keep your heart pure. Do not let bitterness take root. Do not let anger overwhelm your gentleness. Do not let the behavior of others reshape your character. You do not need to be like them. You only need to reflect me, and you will see what happens when you let me fight for you. You will see what happens when you choose to praise in the midst of trials. Battles that seem destined to last for years, I will win in a single moment. Words that once broke you, I will turn into the very stones upon which I rebuild you. Those who once tried to bury your light will witness a radiance in you, so undeniable that no one can ignore it. My child, this season is crucial. It is not the end. It is the final page before the next chapter unfolds. And that chapter requires a heart that has learned not to react like the world, but to wait with unwavering faith. It requires a soul that has discovered the wisdom of silence, the beauty of praise, and the discernment to love. They are not real. They do not come from me. They are but faded shadows, fragments of a twisted reality the enemy uses to dim the light I placed within you. And with just one ray of truth spoken from my mouth, all that darkness will vanish like mist at the break of dawn. In my presence, the holiest place, the most hidden place your soul has ever touched, you do not have to strive to be worthy. You don't have to try to impress me. You don't need to wear a mask of righteousness, display your achievements, or prove anything at all. You have always been worthy, not because you are perfect, but because you are perfectly loved. You were chosen not because you were superior, but because I saw something precious in you that the world could never define or measure. And my love does not waver when you stumble. It does not shrink when you falter, nor withdraw when you feel weak. That love covers, upholds, restores, and makes you stand again and again. In my presence, you don't need to be ashamed. You don't have to hide what is still in need of healing. I invite you not only when you feel strong, but especially when you feel fragile. I long to hear your voice even if it trembles. I long to look into your eyes even when they are filled with tears. Come to me exactly as you are, unpolished, unfiltered, unforced, for it is in that very honesty that I can embrace your soul most fully. I do not require perfection. I desire truth. And when you dare to be your true self in me, that is where the miracle begins. You can share everything with me, even the fears you've never voiced, the sins you're afraid will disappoint me, the memories that make you want to turn your back on yourself. Let it all flow out. Pour your heart out like water before me, because only in my arms can what once felt shameful become the very material I use to transform you. What once were wounds will become marks of healing. The burdens that once drained you will become foundations of new strength. The things you once tried to hide, I will turn into songs of deliverance that bring hope to other souls. You are not rejected. You are not overlooked. At the very core of who I am, in the heart that holds both power and mercy, you are known more deeply than anyone has ever known you. I see not only what you do, but what you feel. I see beyond the surface into the smallest stirrings of your soul. I know when you're trying. I know when you're discouraged. I know the times you have no more words left to pray, yet still choose to turn your eyes toward me with silent longing. And for me, even that is enough for me to open wide my arms. So come without fear. Approach me not as a beggar, but as a child coming home. You don't need to knock timidly. The door has always been open. You don't need to ask, is there a place for me? Because you are the very reason that place was created. You have a place. You have a portion. You have a name engraved on my heart. I don't love you merely as a creation. I love you as a father loves his only child returning after a long exile. And my joy is not in seeing you perfect, but in seeing you home, where you belong. Do not let fear dictate your every step. Let this truth be the compass of your soul. You are not abandoned, you are not estranged, and you are not an extra piece in my divine plan. No matter how your feelings shift, the truth remains unshaken. I am always here. I always love you. I always wait. My heart remains open and my arms have never closed. Though people may turn their backs, I remain unmoved, tireless, unwavering in hope, because I know you will return. I know the light in you has not gone out. I know the seed I planted in you will not die. So let this truth become the root of your spirit. Let it sustain you when you feel weak. Let it whisper to you when every other voice is silent. Every time you feel inadequate, remember that I am more than enough. Every time you feel unworthy of love, remember that I loved you at the price of my own life. And every time you feel alone, remember you are home. You are in the right place, in the right heart, under the right covering. And from that place, you will be healed, you will be restored, and you will be sent, anointed in a way that no power of darkness can ever stop. My beloved child, after all that I have revealed, after each veil of doubt has been gently lifted, I now invite you to step deeper into a divine reality, a living, unshakable, and enduring communion between you and me. This is not a mere formal relationship. It is not a religion built on rituals or distance. It is a living connection, daily, moment by moment, where your soul can hear the sacred resonance amidst the chaos and noise of this world. Trust in the depth of that divine interaction, for it is within the very rhythm of our relationship that impossible things are being quietly shaped. When you begin to live your days not as one who merely exists, but as one who walks with purpose, when every action, every choice, every thought is aligned with goodness, then you are moving ever closer to the fulfillment of the prayers you have poured out in desperation. I do not merely hear your prayers. I walk with you in their unfolding, through each small step, through seemingly insignificant doorways, through unexpected encounters that bear the hidden orchestration of heaven. I encourage you, come near to me each day, not only when you're weary or afraid, not only when life feels heavy, but also when your heart is full of joy, when everything feels ordinary. I long to be the one you share life with, in your quiet dreams as well as your deepest desires. For when you come to me consistently, as a rhythm built on love and trust, you will learn to discern my voice amid the countless echoes of the world. And yes, that variability will become the lamp to your feet, steering you away from dead ends and hollow detours that only appear enticing. Let your faith burn bright like a flame that never dies out, no matter how strong the winds of life may blow. The flame doesn't always need to blaze, but never let it go out. When you preserve that inner light, you will always find your way home, even in the darkest night. And I will be there, right beside that light, waiting for you, listening to you, pouring fresh oil into your lamp so it may keep burning through every season of your life. I want you to listen to me, not only with your ears, but with a spirit that has been shaped by humility and deep longing. I desire to reveal to you what no one else has seen, to speak of plans no one else has heard, to perform miracles that defy the boundaries of human logic. I have much to say, truths that could reshape your entire vision of yourself, your purpose on this earth, and the unseen things I've been preparing for you long before you uttered your first cry. You may feel unready to comprehend such great things, but trust me, your longing heart is the most fertile ground for divine revelation. It is not a brilliant mind that receives the mystery of heaven, but a willing heart. Come closer. Be still before me. Allow the quiet of my presence to sink into every corner of your thoughts. And when you learn to hear me in the silence, you will also learn to recognize me in the noise. Beloved one, as you walk through each day, whether it is filled with peace or lined with challenges, keep your heart tethered to me. Do not allow the current of life to pull you away from the breath of the Spirit. Do not let the rhythm of responsibilities and concerns drown out the awareness that I am ever present. Whether you are standing in the midst of a noisy marketplace or sitting alone in a quiet room, I am there. Whether you are wrestling with inner fears or enjoying a season of abundance, I am still whispering to your heart, I am here. I do not change. I am the one who began the good work in you, and I myself will bring it to completion. Let each of your steps be guided by the remembrance of my love. When you speak, speak as if you're speaking with me. When you work, work as unto me. And when you choose, ask yourself, does this decision draw me closer to Him? Let my presence not be a fleeting emotion reserved for early morning prayer, but the very atmosphere in which your life is sustained. And then you will see every promise I made, every plan I laid out, every seed I sowed in barren seasons will begin to sprout and flourish. Do not measure progress with human eyes. Do not mistake delay for silence. Do not allow the postponement of man to obscure the precision of my timing. Remain steadfast. Cultivate a heart of gratitude. Live as though what you've been hoping for is already unfolding. Move forward as if the miracle has already been scheduled, because the truth is, it has been ordained from eternity past. And with every small step you take, I will strengthen you. When you feel weary, I will breathe new life into your spirit. When anxiety arises, I will grant you a peace that this world cannot offer. When you stumble, I will not stand at a distance. I will bend low, lift you up, wipe your tears, and remind you again, you are still the one I have chosen, still the one I love, still the one I intend to use for purposes far greater than you can imagine. My child, our connection is not fragile. It is an eternal bond, woven with the blood of covenant, fastened by unconditional love and kept alive by my very heart. And I will never stop calling you closer. I will never cease drawing your soul back to the refuge that is my presence. Now offer me your sincere prayer. Speak to me like this. Lord, I bow before your holiness. I do not come with fullness in my heart, but with a soul yearning for truth and a heart in need of healing. Thank you, Father, for speaking so clearly to me amidst the noise of this world. Thank you for your patience in waiting for me, for sending the Archangel Michael to guard and awaken me from the snares that have been set around me. Now I choose to pause everything, all my distractions, all my reasoning, all my hesitation, so I may be still and hear your voice alone. Please open my ears, my eyes, and my heart to receive fully the message from heaven. May my soul discern the sacred moment unfolding and not delay. Lord, I ask that you grant me the weapon of spiritual discernment, that I may not be deceived by false blessings, nor lulled to sleep by sweet smiles masking jealousy and schemes. Break every connection the enemy has orchestrated to delay my steps. Expose every soul disguised as a friend who manipulates, monitors, and reports my life to the shadows. May your light reveal every face, every motive, every hidden agenda. Surround me with a shield of heavenly angels, that no unclean spirit may cross the boundary and touch my spirit again. Lord, I hear your voice speaking to me, and I cannot deny it. For too long I have ignored the signs. For too long I have doubted the voice within. But today I respond. I say, yes, Lord. I open my heart to receive the messenger you are sending, whether he comes in humility through a stranger, a dream, or an unexpected knock at my door. I will not judge by appearance. Please guide me in every step, every decision, every word, and every attitude, so that I will not miss the appointed moment that is drawing near. Almighty God, I now offer you the last fragment of pain still buried in my heart. I lay down the guilt that has weighed on me for so long. I leave behind the bitterness, the unspoken words, the dreams I once buried. I open my soul so that heaven's gift may land upon me. Break every chain that has bound me to the past, every spiritual tie that has weakened my spirit. I believe that what was lost shall be restored, what was delayed shall be accelerated, what was stolen shall be returned, double, even triple, and I will receive it not with doubt but with unwavering faith. Lord, when the night covers the earth and the spirit realm begins to stir, I know your angels are on the move. My beloved child, if this word touched something deep within you, it was meant to. This is only the beginning of what I am doing in your life. Each time you return here, you allow your soul to be watered, your spirit to be strengthened, and your heart to hear what the world cannot say. So do not let this be the last moment we share. Come back often for more whispers from heaven, more direction in the silence, more reminders that you are never walking alone. Subscribe now, not just to a channel, but to the continual voice of truth speaking into your spirit. Click the bell and let nothing I speak pass you by again, because each time you show up, I will be waiting to meet you here. Amen.